Ladies and gentlemen, is the Punisher on a wonderful Saturday with a digital short for everybody here. Oh yeah, I'm smoking a Buffalo Trace cigar tonight. I'm not having any bourbon or scotch tonight, folks. I'm just out here with a quick message. I hope that everybody's enjoying their weekend so far. It is Saturday, and I really hope that you enjoyed the Friday podcast, Friday drop. And I just saw this morning that there was a drop from the Eye. The Eye has been typically doing it on a Thursday and Saturday, but hey, every once in a while I suppose people get off schedule. But he did do a drop today. It was part 3 of the Secret Societies. An amazing drop. So make sure you subscribe here. Subscribe here. And of course, subscribe to the Eye. I encourage it. I recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it. Look at that. That shark is looking most wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell you, Marilyn Monroe. It's underway, ladies and gentlemen. The design is nearly complete. What the hell is wrong with me? You know what I decided? I decided that I am 61 and screw it. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. May as well. I'm doing nothing but my arms, and that's that. That's that. You won't see me with a Mike Tyson face tattoo. By the way, my skin is looking fabulous. I have to admit. It must be the reduction in my consumption of certain beverages. But the Punisher's feeling great, doing well, doing well. You know what I know what the American people do know with it. Operation Q-Tip 6.0 continues underway. President Trump did say that the hostilities in Iran have discontinued. We'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, this is kind of funny. Gavin Newsom tried to diss, the podcaster Joe Rogan, and it's so funny, folks. You can't get out there and say that Joe Rogan is a failing podcast. And I'm telling you this, ladies and gentlemen, pull up Google, search this topic, the #1 podcast in the world. You know what pops up? Joe Rogan. Now look, I don't even listen to him. I only hear about him when they have a clip on the news because of him. But one thing is certain. He's not a failing podcast if he's listed as the #1 podcast in the world. That is something to behold. I mean, you got the #1 podcast in the world, Joe Rogan. You got the world's richest man is Elon Musk. Those are some. That's a hell of a title, ladies and gentlemen. So crazy that Newsom could even come out and say that. Does he not know that? Does he not know that Joe Rogan is the #1 podcast in the whole freaking world? The whole world. We're not talking about the whole state that he's in. We're not talking about the United States. Google it. #1 podcast in the world. I did not lead the witness. I Googled this question. I said, what is the #1 podcast in the world? It said Joe Rogan. So it's crazy. I mean, what an idiot. Gavin Newsom. What's even more interesting is that Kamala Harris is still their top contender for president on the Democrat Party. Please give us another Kamala Harris run. Vance or Rubio will blow her out of the water like you wouldn't believe. By the way, there are some Supreme Court decisions that could be to our benefit on this gerrymandering crap. And so cross your fingers, ladies and gentlemen. We might not be so bad off after the midterms as originally thought. But I would encourage you, and I keep recommending this, make sure you get the word out People must vote. You know what I know what the American people do know. It's Screw James Whitey Bulger. We'll talk to you later. Bye.